in the time, just sitting there thinking, not necessarily accomplishing anything, just how else can I grow this? What else can I do? You're not going to get there. And you're not going to get to that point of just sitting and thinking about that particular topic unless you care enough about it and believe in yourself to be able to accomplish it enough to take the right steps to just be sitting there. All right. So you need a plan. You need the clarity of your actions. You need to know that you are the one to do it. Like, guys, I started the Gamerpreneur. What's this? I'm filming this in May of 2021. I recorded my first episode on my cell phone, October 25th of 2019. I didn't really have my first interview until mid-November. I don't think I published my first real episode until roughly the week of Thanksgiving 2019. And so, really it was the end of November. So I've only been doing this 17 months. 16 months, something like that, right? And if you go back and you look at my first pieces of content, it was junk. I'll be the first to admit it. It was not good content. It was, I had no idea what I was doing on this brand. I kind of had just, I had picked something knowing I needed to start, and then I would find my path, right? And a lot of people do that. And I started with a plan knowing that I was going to create content up to the point that I had enough guests that I was going to then invite guests to come and join me on like a 2-day training program. And then I was going to record that training program. I was going to sell that training program and potentially get some clients off that. And then I was going to purchase new equipment off the sales from that. And then I was going to grow because I understood something about the space I was in, that looks matter, numbers matter. So my goal, my focus was on improving the visual appeal of my brand, because that's what, like, I got interviewed a couple of weeks ago and somebody asked me, like, what is holding back esports businesses? My answer was ego. There's too much ego. And it's not just esports, it's kind of just gaming generally. It's ego. If you don't have the right numbers, if you don't have the right look, if you don't got the right swagger, not playing the right thing, not, collaborating with the right people, if you're just not doing these vain things, then no one cares about you. And I saw that when I first got into space, because I was reaching out to people with 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, 100,000 followers on Facebook or Twitter. And like I had 10. I'm like, hey, I'm starting this brand. I want to know what you did to accomplish success. Please pass it on. I'm going to have audience who wants to learn this stuff. I'm going to grow it. I'm a business person. I know how to build brands. I want to see from your perspective. That way other people can follow you. And if I heard back from people, which I am 1 out of 20 I heard back from. So 19 out of 20 I didn't. If I heard back, the vast majority like, no, you're a nobody. You're meaningless, which you're never going to accomplish anything. No. I heard lots of no's. And the funny thing is, here I am at 123,000 followers. I haven't checked today. I don't have that many followers. Like these people who were like, nose up in the air, you're too small for me. I'm at where most of them were now. And like, I'm still small. I'm still like a small fish in a very large pond. If I don't have 1 million followers, you don't mean anything, Brad. Well, I looked at my numbers, and it's really funny because June 2020, I hit 3,000. So it hasn't even been a full year. And I've gained nearly 120,000 people more, nearly 120,000 people more than I was 11 months ago. All right. So my first 7 months of the Gamerpreneur, I managed to get 3,000 people. It was really like 5,000 people if you count my other platforms, but really just Facebook. I gained 3,000 people. And now here I am 11 months later, and at 120,000 people. And just, what was it, 3-4 months ago, I hit 100,000, right? So like I've gained, it's going faster and faster, which I knew it would. So you have to understand the amount of time it's going to take you is directly related to the amount of commitment you have to it and your complete disregard for caring how much time it's going to take. Because if you have the commitment, you've got the clarity on your plan, and you have the confidence that you are the one who's going to be able to do it, regardless of what anybody else in your life has to tell you, you're going to pull it off. All right. You just have to understand that there are certain key aspects. It doesn't matter what kind of brand you're building. If you're a content creator, streamer, right? I got my 3 pillars. I got the content creators, streamers. That's one pillar. You have the esports pillar of gaming. And then you have basically everybody else who considers them a gamer, whether it's a development studio or peripherals or just a gamer playing video games. Okay. That's kind of the 3 pillars I see in gaming. It doesn't matter if you're building a business and you're just a gamer and it's not a gaming business. It's the same track as somebody who wants to build a business as a content creator or the esports businesses. There's core fundamentals. And I'm asking you to do the research, sit around and just think, what else can I do to grow what I'm working on? What else can I do to market myself better? What else can I sell to make a little bit extra money or a lot of extra money? Don't just think small, aim for the fences. If you're sitting there and you have like a land center and you're like, I rent it out for $20 an hour, but they can be there for the whole day for $45. If you're like, how can I make $200 extra a day? You're thinking small. How can you make $100,000 a day? I know that sounds crazy to think about, but there's a path there. In the infinite universe that we live in, where anything is truly possible, there is a path to making that reality possible. You just don't know it yet. It exists. There's something like 1,000 new millionaires in the United States alone made every single day. Every single day, 1,000 new millionaires. And somebody tried to correct me on that. And they're like, oh, well, actually, Brad, 60% of those people inherit their money. And that's how they became millionaires. Are you kidding me? You're telling me 40% of 1,000 people, which is 400 people a day, become millionaires other than being handed that money? Bro, how does that not inspire you still? 400 people, that's over a year times 365. That's what, 12,000, 13, 14,000 people in a year. I like those odds. If I just keep pushing it and I keep thinking bigger, how do I swing for the fences rather than just going for the single, rather than just going for the bunt and hoping you make it to first base? How can you just rail it across and, bring home the grand slam, to mix metaphors? Because I know that's baseball, not video games. It requires the right plan. You may not know that plan. I may not know that plan for you, right? People come to me, how do I do that? But I don't know. For you, it's I don't know. You got to figure that thing out. That's what makes you special. Your job on this planet is to make your dreams come true. At least that's my personal opinion. How do you do that? Sit around and think about it. If you do not have the commitment to turning those dreams into reality, they'll never happen. You're going to live the life of, the vast majority of average people. And, some people are cool with that. I don't think gamerpreneurs are cool with that. I think we want a little bit something more. Otherwise, we wouldn't be pushing the envelope. We wouldn't be trying new things. We wouldn't be starting businesses or content channels or esports teams or whatever it is. We want something more. At least I think you guys want something more. And so go big. Try to think of how to go big. The money is not the hard part in starting a business. It's the plan. You got the right plan, you accomplish anything. And on that note, I'm going to remind you all, organization is the enemy of sloth. Seriously, just sit down with a white piece of paper, set aside the electronics. This thing right here, a pen, it's one of the most powerful things you can possibly have. And just sit there, and when an idea comes to you, write it down. Don't act on it. Don't judge the idea. Don't think, I'll never be able to pull that off. Just write it down. That's crazy, but sure, loose tigers in a city zoo and see how things turn out, or whatever. You never know. You might be able to create some sort of guerrilla marketing campaign where you release tigers in a city zoo, and all of a sudden, you're filming this whole thing and it blows up on TikTok, and that could be where your money comes from. Don't discount any idea. Any idea could be the path to success. You just need to kind of figure out how to make it work. All right? Anything is possible. At least that's my true belief. And it takes a plan. You have to start at ground zero and get organized. What is your mission? How are you helping people? Who is it you want to help? You get clear on those two things, that'll define so much else of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to work with large, Fortune 100 businesses, that requires a different marketing plan, a reach out campaign. It requires a different set of graphics and materials and, sales scripts and everything than someone who's going for an extra $50 a day because they're trying to trade Pokemon cards, right? Your organization starts at ground zero, and then from there it'll grow. And if you have the plan, you're developing it, Maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need someone to help guide you get there. If you have the confidence that you can do it, come what may, doesn't matter whether roadblocks come out. It doesn't matter that this plan fell through and this plan fell through and this plan fell through. Walt Disney got rejected by, God, I don't want to misquote it. It was definitely more than 50 banks. It might have been a couple hundred banks. He got rejected by a ton of banks in trying to start Disneyland. He ended up having to mortgage his house and basically betting it all on red and hoping like it panned out and like fingers crossed his wife wasn't so happy with him. Thomas Edison, 10,000 attempts before making a light bulb, found 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. That's how he framed it. It was never a failure in his part. He just made a scientific discovery. How can you get there? You have to believe in yourself. And once you believe in yourself, once you know you have a good working, solid plan, it's all about the commitment. You got to go for it. Don't let the stars fall from the heavens before you give up your task. That's how you accomplish anything in this world. And that is how long it will take you in order to become famous, as long as it takes. Don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.